Hello! Today we're going to be factoring, and in particular we're going to be factoring the kind of tricky problems where the leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So, in general, you might have something that looks like ax squared plus bx plus c. Well, if a, your leading coefficient, is not equal to 1, then the factoring can be a little bit tricky. So what does that look like? One method that we can use to help us is called the x method. And what the x method is you start by drawing a big X, hence the name, and you put up in the top part here a times c. So a times c. And then you put b, your remaining coefficient, down here in the bottom. And what you're going to try and do is you're going to try and come up with two numbers, one on the left and one on the right. These two numbers should multiply to a times c, and they should add to b. And if you can do this, then that tells you how to break up this middle term here so that you can factor by grouping. Now, that's potentially a little bit abstract, so let's do it in the context of an example. So my coefficient here, or my trinomial here, would be minus 4x squared minus 21x minus 5. Well, looking at this, we have minus 4. That leading coefficient is not equal to 1. So this is a good candidate for this sort of solution technique. Well, let's try and build our x. So minus 4 times minus 5 is 20, and b here, our middle term, is minus 21. So I need two numbers that multiply to 20 and that add to minus 21. So it looks like we get just a single choice, which is minus 1 and minus 20. Minus 1 times minus 20 gives us 20, and minus 1 minus 20 gives us negative 21 if we add those two together. So let's break apart this middle term so we can factor by grouping. So that might look like minus 4x squared minus 20x minus x minus 5. Well, that was just breaking this apart so that I can group these two terms together and these two terms together and find the greatest common factor of each of those independently, and then take the overall greatest common factor. So it looks like for this first bit, I'm going to have minus 4x, and that'll leave me with x plus 5 left over, right? I pull out the minus 4x from each of these terms. The greatest common factor for these other two looks like it's just minus 1, so I'll have minus times the quantity x plus 5. Well, this is great because I now have x plus 5 terms in each of my results. Therefore, I can factor out x plus 5 as the overall greatest common factor. So x plus 5, and then whatever's left over is minus 4x minus 1. But we're not quite done because we should check to see if we have any more factoring that we can do. And it looks like there's one more greatest common factor here of a minus sign. So I'll take that minus sign just out front. So I have minus x plus 5 times 4x plus 1. And I'll note you could have taken that minus sign out right here at the beginning because each of these terms was negative as well. But if you saw it either at the beginning or at the end, it does not matter. Your final result will be, after you're done factoring, minus times the quantity x plus 5 times the quantity 4x